What's going on, guys? This is helmet cam footage from the first race of the 2013 Torn series, which was at Crafton, which is a property that we haven't raced at in 5 years or so. But we're back there now, and it was a pretty good property. I think the dirt has gotten a lot better. I think they've been running some sort of, I don't know exactly what they've been doing out there, but the dirt is a lot better than it used to be, which might just be because we haven't raced on it in a while, but it was pretty beat up before. But anyway, this is a full lap from start to finish, and I'll probably talk for the first 5 to 10 minutes and then stop talking, and you can decide if you want to watch the whole lap or whatnot. So anyway, I raced the Open Expert and the Sportsman Expert classes. Open Expert is on Saturday and Sportsman Expert is on Sunday. And the Open Expert class races in the first race, or the first big bike race on Saturday, which is at 12:30, I believe. And the track was already getting rough during that race, but it wasn't too bad. But they ended up making a lot of changes Saturday night and Sunday morning, I guess, and they changed the track up quite a bit for Sunday, which was to my surprise in the first lap of my Sunday race, because I almost blew off the track a couple times, but I made it all right. So my results were 5th place in both classes, and I probably could have gotten 4th in both races, but I had a good battle again in both races, and it was a fun weekend. I'm glad I stayed safe, and I really liked the track. I thought it was a good mixture of, there was a lot of open stuff, but there was also a lot of pretty tight woods. Not tight, but still flowing and relatively tight. But there were some technical sections that were pretty fun, and there were areas for passing in certain spots, but it was definitely a little tricky to pass. But I think they made it better on Sunday for passing. I think there were more lines on Sunday. But it also got really, really rough on Sunday, and our race is the last race on Sunday at 1 o'clock, so we pretty much have the most beat up track of the weekend. And sometimes that makes for more lines, but sometimes it makes for less lines. So it was a pretty interesting race. On Sunday was more of a battle than it was on Saturday, but me, Cole Fisher, and Nathan Wood were all neck and neck pretty much the whole race. And I held 4th for a while, and then Cole passed me in right around in this section, I believe. Maybe it wasn't right here, but he passed me, and then I passed him back in the mud hole, which will be coming up here pretty in the next several minutes, I guess. But he passed me there, or I passed him back there, and then and there goes Brandon Glenn. He was riding a 125 right there, but he races a 252 stroke in the pro class, and he won. I remember him and Caleb Ramsey were neck and neck at the finish. But anyway, back to the battle I was having. I held 4th for most of the race, and then Cole passed me once, and I passed him back, and then he passed me on the last lap when I kind of made a bobble on this little hill that they'd put into the track on Sunday. It was a new line. It wasn't the only way to go up it. It was just the fastest way, so the first lap I missed it, and that's how he passed me one time. And I passed him back in the mud hole, and then he passed me there on the last lap in that little hill that I was talking about. So I knew that he was going to try to pass me there because there were 2 ways to go up it, and I knew he'd go whichever way I didn't go. So I was thinking about it too much and just made a little mistake, and he got by me. And the rest of the track was fairly hard to pass on, so he was able to pull out a little bit of a gap, and I wasn't able to catch him. So, but Nathan Wood was behind me, and he was giving it all he had, but he wasn't able to make a move on me. after the race, they were both Cole and Nathan were talking about how hard I am to pass, which I guess is a good and a bad thing. I mean, it's good for me, but I know people get really upset about it. But I'm gonna race. I mean, I'm not gonna move out of the way, I guess. But it was fun. I had a fun weekend. It was. I was pretty satisfied with how I was riding, even though my results weren't really good. I mean, 2 fifth places isn't really what I want. I want to be in the top 3 all the time, but you can't always have that. So really, I'm just lucky that I stayed safe and didn't crash and had a fun weekend. And we didn't have our camper out at the race because my dad he's better now, but he was really sick and he wasn't able to go get the trailer, and we didn't want to be huddled up in the trailer with him for the whole weekend and possibly me and my mom get sick. So we just we went out in my pickup truck, and she brought her SUV out, and we just did it the old-fashioned way, I guess, which is the way most people do it. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I think it gives you more of a you have more of a connection with the track. I don't know. It's a different thing when you're racing out of a pickup truck. There's less pressure. It's kind of more fun, I guess. But anyway, Saturday's race was kind of uneventful. I was riding around in 5th place for most of the race, and then I ended up catching up to 4th place at the end, but I wasn't able to make the pass. He fell on the second to last lap, the rider who was in 4th place, which I believe was Justin Morrison, and yeah, he fell in the sand section, and I caught up to him, but I wasn't able to pass him. So this mud hole is where I was talking about, where I passed Cole Fisher on Sunday. This was a pretty good place for passing because there were so many different ways to go, and it was always intense when I came through here in Sunday's race because I knew that the 2 guys that were behind me were going to take different lines or try to pass me somehow. So, but it was a good race. I mean, I was kind of bummed, but I think I was riding well, and the expert classes are just stacked. Or maybe it's just that I'm getting slower, but it seems like everyone's gotten faster, which is, it's cool to see just how many fast off-road guys are in Texas now, because, I mean, it seems we've got like our own little really competitive scene here in Texas. But the Green brothers both raced on Sunday. Dylan usually races pro, or he has been racing pro for the past several months. I believe he finished 3rd overall in pro in Toro, which is pretty cool. And I think, yeah, Dalton raced open, Dylan raced pro on Saturday, and both of them raced sportsman on Sunday. And Dylan and Dalton went 1 and 2 in sportsman, and Casey Compton got 3rd. Anyway, all those guys are really fast, and they're all on 252 strokes, so a lot of KTM 252 strokes in the Alfred's series this year, which is pretty cool to see. At least my bike looks unique, I guess. I've got pretty unique graphics, and I had a lot of people complimenting me on my graphics, which I always like. If you can't win on the track, win in the pits. That's pretty much my motto. Of course, you'd like to do both, but can't always do both. So, my bike, by the way, is a 2013 KTM 250 SX 2-stroke, and I really like it. I think it suits my style a little bit better than a 4-stroke, and I really like the lightweight. It's just easier to maneuver in tight trees like this, and it's just more fun to ride, really. And I'm really just trying to have a fun year this year. I still want to battle and be a quote unquote contender, even though I'm not a contender right now. But you know, I'm going to college and all that stuff, so trying to just not put a bunch of pressure on myself and just have a good, fun year, which hopefully I can achieve. And obviously I want to be safe and all that good stuff. But anyway, guys, I just think this is kind of what I'll do for the Torn Race helmet cams. And this is obviously during practice. I guess I should have clarified that at the beginning, but this was shot during practice. And I'll go ahead and shut up, and if you want to keep watching, you're welcome to, and if you want to stop watching, you're welcome to do that too. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.